Welcome back, traders. Second portion of our show, Market Movers here. Dennis, where would you like to start?
Well, we'll start with Deere, Joel, DE. They had blew the numbers away, basically raised guidance, everything good about this report. This is how you do it. 71.92 is where it closes, trading 76.22 right now. I was trading up into the 77s a little while ago, so this stock is getting a great lift here. I know on the site I put that 75 number as a swing number. I think you probably use it 75 for support now because we're trading so far above that. Resistance probably quite a bit higher. Maybe even up to that 78 area. So the stock is really looking good here this morning, Joel.
We did get up to 77.69 in the pre-market. Looks like we're going to run into some problems here in the regular session, though, at 77.09. That was a high on November 17th. Above that, you're right, you do have that $78 level, 78.52, which was the high on November 16th. Coming back on the downside, if you're buying this thing off the open, I want to give it more than 15, 20 cents from that opening print on the downside.
Might as well talk about Caterpillar too, which is getting a little lift with the sympathy move there because it's trading. We're down over 8 in the SPOOs with actually the extra 3, so we're down 11 overall. 90 and a quarter, trading 90.33 now, trading after closing at 89.99. So Caterpillar going to get a little bounce at those Deere earnings. Obviously isn't going to get the kind of bounce a Deere is, but what do you think about Cat, Joel?
That really, it's not moving as much as sympathy as one would think. Just have to keep an eye on yesterday's high at 91.22. The previous day's close was at 91.12, so they'll have some good resistance there. Above that, it opens up to the $92 level, and you find some good support at settlement there, 89.99.
Here's one that's had a wild range today, DMND, which is Diamond Foods. This stock chart is just awful looking if you bring it up from the last year. Obviously, we're trading up towards, $90 in late September, over $96.13 being the high. 2 months later, this thing is trading at $30. So, man, what a sell-off. They've got all kinds of problems there. There's now a class action suit going against them. Accounting inquiries are still going on. The CEO, or not the CEO, but one of the board of governors committed suicide. There's all kinds of problems here at DMND. I don't know where to tell you for support for something like this. I would look at that 35 area, which is yesterday's close, as probably being your significant resistance if it was to go into rally mode. But this thing could trade all over the place, Joel.
Yeah, we did sneak under $30 in the pre-market. We actually got to $29.35. That coincides nicely with 2 monthly lows that we had back in November and December of 2009 at $29.10 and $29.17. So still $1.50 away from there, but keep an eye on the pre-market low, which was actually got to $29.21 now, I see. So let's call that 29 level place to bring in some shorts and try Brave Long.
TiVo, T-I-V-O, getting a really good lift here, trading 10.10 right now after closing at 9.57. So they're liking the TiVo numbers. I was going to say $10 psychological number. I think I'd use that for my swing number. Obviously starts trading significantly above the 10. Use that for support. But off the bat, if it opens below the 10, maybe that gives you some resistance. Joel, what do you think about TiVo?
Kind of topping out in the pre-market here at 10.15. That coincides with the 10.21 high you had on November 18th. Above that, looks like you got a little stopping point at 10.38, but the major resistance is at the 3 consecutive tops you had at 10.70 to 10.74. Coming back on the downside, Dennis, if it doesn't hold $10, I'd expect it to fill its gap there down to 9.75.
Boston Scientific, which is BSX, is getting a pretty good lift here in the pre-market, Joel. They got FDA approval there for a new heart stent. So obviously that's giving the stock a nice lift, trading 565 after closing at 531. 550. I was going to use that for my swing number. So if we open up above the 550, I'd use it for support. major resistance up here at this $6. We couldn't get up there earlier in the month. We failed there. So first time up there, you'd think that's going to provide some problems again, Joel.
Yeah, this stock has been in a downtrend for a long time, Dennis. So, any pops in this stock, I'm sure are going to be met with people that are, holding the stock from much higher levels. We did get a pop in the pre-market up to 573, so I'd keep an eye on that level. Above that, look for $6, which was 599 was a high back on September 20th.
Well, we don't get to talk about Nokia much being on an up day, so we might as well mention it. It's only up a dime now, but they're coming through cutting a whole bunch of expenses, so everybody's like, oh, we're saving money, better rally the stock. But, man, I just don't think, it's getting a little lift off of yesterday's massive sell-off too, maybe a little bit of a bounce, but from a fundamental and investing perspective or even, swing trading perspective, I just think the stock can't be owned, and, probably rallies are met with sellers, just like you were saying in Boston Scientific.
Right. We're still trading below yesterday's high, which was 587. So I'd use that as pretty good resistance. Looking at the pre-market, we did get a little pop up to 580. Hasn't been able to hold that. So, still the stock can get to 575, 580. I still think it's a sell. I mean, it did fall off a cliff here from 660 over the last 3 days. So it's dropped $1 with gapping down. So, maybe get a little 50% bounce off of that. But, no reason to buy this stock yet.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with the Big Ten show. Maybe we can just do a quick couple of levels on some of the major movers there in the Big Ten. I know IBM has had a pretty big move here, and it's trading down over $1.30 right now at 180.01. We were talking about this 180 number being pretty key for this stock. We bottomed out there at 180.29, just above the 180 there on Monday, so I think 180 definitely might come into play here. What do you think about IBM?
Yeah, Dennis, we were talking about that in the other show. It did bounce off that. Looks like we're going to make a run here at settlement 180, 138. Also, Monday's close was in that area as well. If we get above that, though, Dennis, things really open up into this 182.98 area, which was yesterday's high.
Maybe you can just give a little market outlook too there, Joel, before we close the market movers off. And obviously the Big Ten show, we'll try to work out the bugs there and get that up for you when we can. Okay,
well, just recapping the S&Ps, we made a high last night at 1185 and quickly took out the double bottom at 1179 and a quarter to 1180.50. That took us down to the 1166.75 level. No real great numbers there. If that 1185 holds up as a high of the day, we have a downside target of 1156.75, which coincides with that October 10th low of 1156.50. If that Globex high or Globex low holds of 1167 and a quarter, we have an upside target of 1195 and a quarter. In order to turn things around, Dennis, and get back up to test, that old double bottom, as well as the close, we need to get up and hold this 1276 level.
1176 area, yeah.
Yep. Okay, folks, that's our show for today. Have a nice Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much, and we'll be back with you on Friday.